time. So it's nice to be back in the Daled Amos Shel Halacha, but it reminds me of something very, very powerful that I saw in the Kav HaYoshel. Kav HaYoshel, tzaddikim say that their Yira Shamayim, they got after they learned Kav HaYoshel 102 times. There's 102, Kav is 102, the Yira Shamayim they got from Kav HaYoshel. The special Sefer, quite so many things that we already mentioned, but one of the things, he has a list of certain hanhagas, things that he accepted upon himself, and he tried obviously not to move from these things, and there are definitely very good suggestions to every one of us to try to strive. This is obviously, he was a very holy person, but these hanhagas are helpful tools. So one of them is never to say anything without kavanah. What that means is, in davening specifically, you never would say a word without having kavanah. And since I read it, it made such a strong impression that I try to make out myself if I'm going to say words, because once you don't have a plan, you could mamash go from beginning of davening till the end without being mechavan. And I think everyone knows that in themselves. But when you decide, you know what, Boch, Ato, Hashem, it doesn't have to be, you could do it actually even in a pretty quick space. Unless a person doesn't know what it means, okay, so then you have to really work on the art scroll and just getting pashut taich. But it changes the whole davening when it's Boch, Ato, Hashem. In fact, if you look at the davening, specifically even starts with Shmonesa, take one bracha, Boch, Ato, Hashem. It's actually written where it's 2-1. You could have a 2-1 system. Boch, Ato, Hashem. Elokeinu, Velokei Avoseinu, Velokei Avohom, Velokei Yitzchak. It works, it breaks down beautifully. I think some even have commas. But then he says something else that's very powerful, and that is Daled Amos. A person should not look out of his Daled Amos. So this applies certainly when it comes to Shmiras Anayim. It's something, such a powerful tool that a person, again, in a practical way, knows that he's within his Daled Amos. He's within Daled Amos, is with Reshusei Shel Adam. It's a person's domain. This applies to men or women. Women or men that are building a home, and this is really a personal home, not to have the eyes always looking at what everyone else has, not to have the eyes being meshaitet, literally screening. Today, with the drone invention is what, every one of us finally understands, I think, hopefully, like the Chafetz Chaim said, all the inventions were there just to teach us what it means, that Ayin Roya, that Hashem sees. Today, you have mosquitoes that are drones. If the kids in our neighborhood have drones, then the FBI and the Mossad and everyone, especially in El Tzisot, where they're high tech in all these regards, they have mosquitoes. They have dolphins. But it's all to teach us a lesson that the Rebbeinu Shem, of course, is watching us. But our avodah is to be within our Daled Amos, and it gives you such a change. It's a shlita. It's a control. And I've seen it. I've seen the power of it. So that's Daled Amos Shel Halacha, and it's Daled Amos in every regard. I'm in my own domain. I don't need to look outside. Yes, of course, like there's a story of Rabbi Tam and his brother, the Rashbam, who are walking, and I think it was the Rashbam told Rabbi Tam would only literally look down on the floor. He said, look in front of you, you're riding on a susu pered. It was riding on a combination of a mule and another animal. So he was trying to tell Mati Tzadik Harbe. It's true. But on the other hand, when a person has zero gedarim, there's no parameters at all where he should look and what he could look, a person becomes pizu hanefesh, the scattering of the soul, and therefore he loses the yishuv hadas. So this is a very, very important lesson, Daled Amos, kavanah b'tefillah. And I want to share with you another interesting halacha, the ma'aseh, when it comes to Shabbos. We're holding Wednesday. Ready, the Zohar HaKadosh says, and we sing about it in Askinu Sudasa. Another good example. Sing Askinu Sudasa. It's so powerful if you know what you're saying. I even have a translation in English that I sometimes sing in English just so the kids and myself will understand it. So in it we say Yemina Usmala Ubenayu Kala, which means Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday is on the right, and then after Shabbos there's the 3 days. Shabbos is sandwiched in between. Shabbos Kodesh is something that is the Makoir HaBrocha. So someone asked me a Shaila Halacha L'Mais, and I get many of these Shailas of Amir Al-Akum. Today, that it's so easy to have a non-Jewish person working or helping out at home. a lot of the shaylas have to be reviewed. But one of the shaylas that I got was the Me'elek Yid who called me up and said, this already became famous because my Rabbi spoke about it in shul. But just to appreciate exactly the details and what this chassid, beautiful chassid, said. He called me up and said, can my wife change a ticket on Shabbos? How is she going to change a ticket on Shabbos? Through a guy. So basically, it was Amira de Amira. I was telling one non-Jew to change the ticket. He was going to save $1,000 or a little bit more, because otherwise he would have to do it on Sunday. On the day of the flight, he would lose $1,000. I told him it's Amira de Amira, and really mitzad Allah it should be mutter. Okay, my Rabbi said it's not so pashut because it wasn't necessarily a tzorich mitzvah. But he turned to me and said, I don't want a heter. I want my wife to appreciate that I'm willing to lose $1,000 and it means nothing to me for Shabbos Kodesh. He understood what Makor HaBracha is. So that's a nice, beautiful lesson from today's. It's not even it would sound like, oh my gosh, this Yid was willing to give up $1,000. It was so pashut to him that if it's just a heter, and that's really what it is, Amira de Amira is certainly a heter, but when a person sees Shabbos as a source of bracha, he doesn't look for it here.